Okay, you guys, so this is our last lesson for the book. 15.22 way relative frequency tables. Same standard, a little more specific though. To be able to organize and analyze categorical data, always with 8% accuracy or high in given independent practice. It's the same idea that we did in 15.1. It's a little more specific. Again, two-way frequency tables. Table displays information by organizing the information by rows and columns. Again, I'm gonna change a little bit. So this is the pets, kind of pets, and then the preference, okay, of people where they want them inside or outside. And then join relative frequency. Again, it's a little more specific than use relative frequency. Join relative frequency is a ratio, okay, or the fraction, if you think about it, of frequency in a particular category. So it's only a specific category, so it's not going to be out of the total number of the data values, but only of the total of the category. So for instance, if I'm looking at cats inside cats, I'm going to look at inside cats, but then I'm going to compare it to the total only the inside animals, or if they say cats, and only the total number of cats. A marginal frequency, relative frequency, is the sum of the joint relative frequencies in the row or column. So this is my marginals. These are my marginals, right? So this is my marginal. This will be my joints. So this is my marginal. You add them all together. And then two-way frequency, relative frequency, is the same idea. Again, I'm showing in a two-way table. I'm showing the relative, how things are relative to each other. Okay. And then conditional relative frequency is the ratio of a joint relative frequency to related marginal relative frequency in a two-way table. So that is how the joint is related to the marginal. Okay, so let's do a few just to go over that. So if they ask me what's a joint relative frequency of preference of inside cat, so let's look at the number of people that prefer inside cats, and again, I'm looking at the preference. So inside cats, there are 35, but then I'm only looking at cats now. Okay, so 35 people prefer cats to be inside out of 50, so that will be 35 out of 50, and then I will simplify by 5. That gives me 7 over 10. And so that is 7/10, and if I change that to a percentage, it will be 70%. So that means that 70% of the people prefer to have the cats inside rather than outside. Okay, I think it's actually kind of the opposite, but okay, we'll use this example right here. And then marginal relative frequency of cat. So in this case, I'm looking at cats total related to the actual total of everything. Okay, so it will be 50 out of 100. I know that is 5/10, and that's also 50%. Okay, so that will be the marginal relative frequency of cat. And then the last one is conditional relative frequency if a person surveyed prefers outside animals given it's a cat. Okay, so let's look at cat, and they say prefers outside. So this is this. Okay. So that is 15. But the question is it's outside animals, right? So we want to look at this right here. Outside animals, and it's a cat. So 15 out of 45, and I can simplify it by 15. That gives me 1/3, which is 3 repetitive, which is 33% about. Okay. So again, just make sure that you're careful with what they're asking you. If it's joined, you're going to look at the category given. If it's marginal, you always want to compare to the total right here. And if it's conditional, you have to look at what the conditions are given. So in this case, outside. So you look at the outside, and it's given that it's a cat. Okay, let me give you just a few to do to practice on this table right here. So the first one I want you to give me the joint relative frequency of preference of, let's see, of outside dogs. Number 2, give me the marginal relative frequency of dogs. That's an easy one, huh? Let's do marginal relative frequency of inside pets. And then give me the conditional relative frequency if person survey prefers dogs given that it's inside. Okay, alrighty. You can either give me fraction that's more percentage. I prefer percentage. It's always easier to compare. Thank you. God bless you.